Hello everyone, I wanted to use this screencast as a great way to hopefully provide some nice feedback on your project. So first off the bat, I thought everything was really well done, and I'm unfamiliar with this tool, TAC, I guess, and now I'm kind of intrigued by it, but it looks like a really nice tool to use to put together a kind of an easy web posting page format. So I was trying to explore around a little bit, which is kind of fun. So kind of a really great design. I really like the overall sort of cover page, and you did a great job of providing a nice overview of the project and your learning module here. The embedded map was neat. Gives a great sense of the location, and there's St. Mary's High School. Wonderful, excellent. I love all the photos you guys added of like the actual classroom experience. It really put a nice sort of personal touch to it. I know some folks, when they do these projects, they use hypothetical places and so forth. This is nice, actually seeing the technology being used, especially one-to-one with Chromebooks. So they are with all their wonderful Chromebooks, so that's awesome. All right, so that was really great. So I had all these open in different tabs, so I guess I'll just go through this first, your skill plan. I also looked at this and turned it in, so it doesn't really matter. My comments here will be fine. I love turn it in, but the problem with turn it in is that it doesn't allow for group submissions. So whoever, I think Terry, I think you submitted it to turn it in, only then Terry will be able to actually view that. So that's kind of unfortunate. I've been begging for years for them to add group assignments to turnin.com. But this was a nice overall idea. At first when I saw this, I'll be honest, I thought, well, some of the technology use is kind of vague here on this document. But then as going through your TAC and all the things you have listed there, that was obviously not true. So my first original criticism was going to be to maybe need to kind of add some more specific details. But this is great, using all the different standards and so forth, which is wonderful. And I'm glad you're able to connect those with what would actually being used within your module. Okay, so that was really, 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 really good. The needs assessment was really nice, and that I really loved this screencast that you used, and you shared it to a kind of a neat site, which again I really haven't used that much. So I like the fact that you can embed videos right here within this. That was a really very effective use of that. So I thought that was really kind of a neat aspect. I believe one of the most important things that was mentioned in this overall presentation was the fact that technology should not be used just for technology's sake. And I'm going to come back to that point because I mentioned that point somewhere else in other of your documents here. So that was a great, thing to focus on as you did this. And the results of the faculty survey were, I think, very, very compelling. So now we have all these new Chromebooks. What do we do with them? These are great embedded diagrams from Google. Awesome job. The usual likely suspects, right? Quizlet, Kahoot, and Socrative. Interesting that Edpuzzle and Pull Everywhere and some other ones. Pull Everywhere was not used. And I guess I read this wrong. When I first went through it, I guess Socrative was not being used as much. The other was the other one. So kind of interesting, some new tools that can be introduced to. And again, are you now do this more often? Thank goodness, yes, right? And I love sort of the, here's where I wanted to make a point of using technologies for technology's sake. I think at this level, I think you can kind of see that this is sort of an initial level where teachers might be comfortable using technology. And oftentimes at that first level, it's oftentimes just replicating what can be done with paper and pencil. So rather than giving a student a worksheet, you turn a worksheet into a Google Doc. Well, yeah, that's better, I guess, especially if you want to collaborate more, but is that really using technology in the best way? So I think that's kind of a nice next level is, okay, now that we have these devices, right, now how can I get students to be more creative and more analytical and doing high-level thinking skills rather than doing some of the usual things that they might do anyway within our classrooms? I think you're starting to see, this is like your initial stage level of just getting used to using these devices. Now let's take it to the next level. All right, so that was kind of a neat way. So your learning modules. Here's your strategic plan. I'm sorry. This was again well done, excellent, and I think the presentation was a great overview of all of this. Okay, so that was really good. Here are all your lesson plans. I want to make sure I'm going through this in order here. Let me click on this again just to make sure I'm going on in order. I had them all opened up. Okay, good. This is the lesson plans. And these were great. You had nice use of standards. All right, great materials here. I love the use of Weave Video in all of these. All right, I love Weave Video. I use video with my own students. Okay, and I love the use of QR codes. I think that was absolutely wonderful. And the sample work was great. And I believe it was this video. I had to refresh it, but for some reason, I guess my school blocks. I watched all of them, but my school blocks VidMe, so I had to use my hotspot when I was doing this the other day. But I love the great intro, love the Groundhog Day use in the beginning and the use of SpongeBob, and it's super creative. And again, all the other examples that you were sharing out here were so really nice. I was going to ask Terry, is this is this what you actually, it looks like this is a template you use on a weekly basis for lesson planning, which is a really nice template. I actually use a Google Calendar for my lesson plan. I just make it, a different color, and I just put every day as an event. I don't have to actually submit lesson plans. It's just for my own sort of peace of mind and planning. I'm just curious, do your administrators actually require this of everyone, or is this your own sort of tool to help yourself stay focused? But whatever the case may be, great use of a nice lesson plan format, great use of tables in Google Docs. So nice work there. All right, and overall, again, going through all the other things that you share with me, I want to make sure I'm not missing anything in this video, because I went through all of this yesterday, and that was the lesson plan. Oh yes, this was fantastic. I love the QR codes. I thought this was a really cool way to incorporate QR codes within your lesson. Now here are your references, and this is, I guess, the only critique I have, and it's not a major critique. I'm trying to find out the best way for you to actually do this, and I'm not trying to compare your project versus the other project, but if you look at the other one from the class, they did the I Love New York and they did the Google Sites. They did a nice job, I thought, a really nice job of taking scholarly sources and weaving them into their project. If there's some way you can do that as we go forward, just before you submit to TaskStream, that might be a really great way. These are great sources, and I would just love to know how these sources helped influence the creation of this. Okay, now forgive me if I missed it in the presentation. I don't believe I did. I thought this presentation was a really great overview of the skill plan, of the assessment and everything that you were doing, and the needs assessment of your school. And if I missed that, forgive me. But there's a way you can perhaps weave that in to your project, just so we know that this is both applications of tools, which is definitely evident, but also that it's scholarly based. That would be great. But overall, super pleased that you guys did excellent work on this. And I know this is a very challenging project at times, but that was kind of one of the major goals of this. I wanted each group to struggle and be challenged of how do you coordinate doing this fairly detailed project in an online atmosphere in a group setting. Most of us get very frustrated with group projects, and it's good that we feel that frustration, because we're going to ask our students to also do group projects, right? So for me, it's important that you work through those frustrations, and now hopefully you've learned how to overcome those frustrations, and then you can share those experiences and share the techniques that you use to make this successful with your own students, right? Now again, most of us will not teach daily in an online atmosphere, but we do require students to extend their learning beyond the classroom, or have them use digital tools to work collaboratively. So hopefully all the tools that you and skills you use and applied here can be transferable to your own situations. So I hope so. All right, well, have a great day, everyone, and thanks so much. Take care. Bye-bye.